ABC News.
From Mason City to your hometown, we've got the information you need. Turn us on at home, work, and in the car. AM 1300 KGLO.
Hometown news station, AM 1300 KGLO, KGLOAM.com. As Wednesday mornings at this time, we typically sit down with Pete Hjelmstad with the Iowa Department of Transportation, and he joins us now. Good morning, Pete.
Morning, Bob. How's it going today?
Not too bad. We were talking a little bit before we went on the air. We were both kind of thankful to see a little rain here in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure we're not the only ones. One of the cornfields I drive by on the way to work, I think it grew a foot since yesterday. But yeah, no, it was definitely needed. Those of us who also have to mow our yards will probably be doing that in the next day or two, which is just fine. I have no problem with that.
The weather probably, though, has been good for all the projects around the area, though.
It really has. We hate to complain too much about the rain because obviously it's pretty important, especially in this part of the country. But it has been a good spring, early summer as far as getting work done with the weather, and even the fact the last couple of weeks it's been fairly cool out, and that helps as well with everybody who's out working in the conditions every day.
Well, I know we typically just concentrate on the projects that are around this area, but somebody that I was traveling with back on Friday, we noticed work going on in Janesville in that area. And of course, that's been an area that is, saw a project, a couple of years ago to try to improve things down there. And maybe just for those that are traveling down the Avenue of the Saints and see that project going on, maybe explain what is going on down there.
Yeah, traffic growth on the avenue since the avenue opened in the early 90s has just been, it's incredible. And when the traffic was growing the way it was, we started looking at, okay, is traffic decreasing on interstate? Is traffic decreasing on 63? And it hasn't been. It's just a new route that is very efficient for people to travel on. And that traffic growth then brings up operational concerns, and operational concerns can result in safety concerns. And that's pretty much what's happening down in the Janesville area with the growth in traffic. What we are doing is putting in a new interchange about a mile north of Janesville. The interchange is going to be a little bit to the west of the current alignment of the highway. So what we've been doing the last year or so is working off of the highway, building. There's 2 bridges that have been built. We're building the new lanes, and now we're going to be getting to the point where we're going to have to start doing some work that will affect the traveling public. So again, work right now is still going on off the highway, but within, I'd say, the next 2 or 3 weeks, you'll probably see a big change down there where traffic will be in a head-to-head pattern. But yeah, it's going to be a nice project. Again, with the you've got the housing developments over on the east side. You've got the business a little bit north of there. There was traffic trying to get in and out of their homes. It was getting to the point, again, like I said, with the traffic growth where something needed to be done in the name of safety, and it's moving along well. So we'll continue to push forward, and you'll see a change down there in the next few months.
Well, I'm sure that's something that's an ongoing thing with the DOT looking at specific interchanges or intersections, or, obviously we had the project that was done around the Floyd area here a couple of years ago that, brought a well-needed improvement there. I mean, we look at, if you want to go way back, Highway 30 in Ames, the Des Moines area, they've had several projects to kind of improve things down there as well. And like I say, it's and I-380 at 80 near Iowa City as well. Those are things that constantly are being looked at, and the DOT is looking at different ways to try to improve those areas.
You summed it up very well. And a lot of the questions we get is, why wasn't this done in the first place? Well, number one, like I said, the traffic growth has just been exponential, more than anybody would have expected. And number two, if we would have waited and built interchanges at all these spots, the avenue still might not be done. Yeah. And again, when we built it, with the traffic, the way it was built was fine. But, this is a success story. This is a story that this highway has brought more traffic. It's brought more economic development. It's brought more people. It's a success story, and success comes with some growing pains every once in a while, and that's what we've done. You mentioned Floyd. That's a perfect example. With now down at Janesville, several years ago we did a interchange at Janesville itself at C50 right there, and then a couple of years later we did the one a few miles south of there at C57. We're looking at improvements at an intersection south of Denver, north of Waterloo on Highway 63 right now that has seen a huge growth in traffic. So, yeah, we are always monitoring this, watching traffic numbers, watching crash numbers, and doing what we can to make improvements.
Well, and just we'll wrap it up with this, but uh, the Waterloo Cedar Falls area, obviously a lot of people have moved up to Waverly and commuting in on that road specifically, or on 63, as you mentioned. We're just seeing those types of things throughout the state as well, where, like you say, this is actually a success story with getting that road in originally back in the 90s, and now it's being well used with things kind of moving here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Waverly, Denver. It was a few years ago we put in a new interchange at Iowa 3 and 63 to the east of Waverly. We four-laned some of that between Waverly and actually between New Hampton and Waverly. So yeah, it's always being watched, and even to a smaller scale. We talked about, I believe, last week the Super 2 projects,
Yeah.
where we put in passing lanes and turning lanes, and those are the same thing. They allow more capacity at a safer level with the traffic increases. So yeah, it's stuff that's being monitored constantly. And like we've said before, we have our 5-year program, but there are projects that we have that we're looking at that we're trying to get into that 5-year program that are probably even more than that, many years out. So it's a constant battle, but it's one that we'll continue to do.
Well, looking at some of the projects going on now, I guess the other one that I drove through here in the last since our last talk was Interstate 35, of course, south of the Basin City Clear Lake area. That rebuild project going on, and seems like every time I pass through there, it looks like they're making a lot of progress.
You're right. They are. Things are going really well. And again, that's part of the weather. We've had really, really good weather, and it's really kind of interesting. The different types of soil conditions. I'll try not to get too technical from last year's project to this year's project. Last year, we'd get a quarter to half inch of rain, and the type of soil that was used in that area, it would take forever to dry out. Now they've noticed on this side that they believe they used a different type of road bed, different type of soil, so things are drying quicker. So that's good news. And the bottom line is things are moving along very well in that project. We're hoping by July 6th you'll start seeing pavement going down. So we'll hopefully push onto that schedule and hope to have everybody out of the head-to-head configuration by Labor Day.
Nice. Well, we'll cross our fingers for that project to continue along well, and get us up to date on the projects at Mason City.
Mason City on 122, we have pretty much got all the underground work done up to the Crescent Hy-Vee drug area. So things are going well. They're moving along. They're doing pavement removal right now. And yeah, we'll continue working to the west on that project. And on 65, kind of a nice little, I guess, landmark, we started paving yesterday. So new concrete started going down on the north end, and we'll continue doing a lot of that paving now for the next several weeks as you pave the main line, and then you got to do the driveways, and you got to do the curb and gutter, and you've got to do around the storm sewer intakes and the manholes and everything. So the main line goes down quick, but then some of that handwork starts happening. But yeah, when you start seeing pavement going down, that's a big step.
What else around the area do we have going on?
Another one I want to touch on that's really going well is the US 65 bridge replacement between Sheffield and Rockwell. The beams are all set. They have started doing decking, and they actually hope to be pouring the deck on July 2nd. So that's exciting. That's coming up quick, and we're still on pace to have that one open by mid-August. So keep our fingers crossed. Again, it helped so much that we were able to do a lot of the substructure work underneath the bridge while the bridge was still open. And, we get the question, well, why don't you do that on every bridge? Well, we can't, just because of the way the bridge is laid out and the way the new bridge is going to be and the river conditions and everything. This one just happened to work out where we're able to do that. So it's been a good project so far, and hopefully it continues that way and we get it open by mid-August.
All right. Anything else before we let you go?
That pretty much sums it up. We're doing some, small work yet, like some erosion control and seeding in Garner, where once the railroad comes in, they will be putting in new cross arms and signs and signals, and then we'll have some more paving to do once they get that done, but we're waiting on that right now. And I guess the other one to be aware of is Iowa 9 from 218 to Riceville. We're going to be doing resurfacing there, most of the work now. They've done the patching, but then they started doing the pipe work, and that's been off the road. But probably starting next week, you're going to start seeing pilot car and flaggers out there as we start building the turn lane that's going to go for eastbound traffic on 9 to southbound traffic on 218. It'll be an offset right, and we'll also start doing some work on the roadway as far as the widening. So be aware of pilot car and flagger in that area, probably starting next week.
Pete, as always, we appreciate it. And
No problem.
You're around next week. We'll talk to you again.
I will be here.
All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to you then.
Thanks, Bob.
Pete Hjelmstad, thank you very much, sir. From the Iowa Department of Transportation here on your hometown news station, AM 1300 KGLO. 743, we've got